There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good old-fashioned handshake.
Yeah. I need to thank you for that next time.
Check. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. First, I'll make it clear that I don't represent any groups here. I'm just here as a guy. And I just want to share what I think a lot of us possibly are thinking and feeling. My name is Mike, which you had said, but my name is Mike, although who I am doesn't really matter. What matters is what I am, because that's what brought me here today. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a brother, a friend. I'm a son. I'm a grandson. I'm an uncle. I'm a teacher. I'm a student. We're always learning.
We're all students.
That's why I'll never stand up here and try to say that I know everything, but I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm a worker. I believe in a creator. I'm a Canadian. I'm a human being. And I'm angry. I am outraged at the federal, provincial, and municipal government's negligent lockdown at the expense of the economy and the very things that make Canada, Canada. Democracy, capitalism, freedom. There's a reason why we have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I'm angry at a lockdown based on shoddy scientific models and government-sponsored statistical fraud at the behest of unelected international institutions. Institutions like the World Health Organization, United Nations, unelected international institutions that are controlled by a handful of wealthy elite psychopaths hell-bent on unilaterally imposing their own globalist ideological vision of the future at the expense of our innate, God-given human rights and freedoms and our God-given right to live.
Amen!
If this was truly about safety, the moment the data showed the death rate is equivalent to a bad flu season, the lockdown should have ended right then. But it didn't. It didn't. It was transformed into a new attitude, a new message. It was transformed into a cultural shift of the new normal. With children isolated in circles at school drawn out on the pavement. Meanwhile, our leaders are holding up the old normal.
No opposition.
Do you know how trainers keep elephants from running away from that little piece of string? When they're babies, they get huge chain link chains. And once they give up trying to break it, they switch to a little thin rope. That's what they're doing to our children. If our children are living in circles, they don't believe that they can do anything beyond that.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Criminals.
History is wrought with tyrannical dictators and regimes seeking more and more power over the people. From Stalin to Mussolini, from the Pharaoh in the Bible to Hitler. Fear, intimidation, and propaganda are the hallmarks of government power grabs and oppression.
Yeah!
However, these historical examples that are burned into our memory were limited to specific nations and geographic locations. Today, it is on a total global scale, crossing all borders. Never in the human history has there ever been such an attempt, such an orchestrated, deliberate attempt to overthrow and subjugate every man, woman, and children on the face of this planet. This is not a racist agenda. No. This is not a racist agenda. This is an anti-human agenda.
No carbon clones, no county zombies.
This is an anti-human agenda. What's being done here is far more egregious and nefarious than the racist issue. Our politicians have been either bribed, threatened, or even worse, in favor of these treasonous crimes against humanity, because that's what it is. I elected politicians to represent me. I didn't elect them to represent others who don't belong here. Unelected institutions. I'm sorry, that's just not why I voted for you.
Yep.
Make no mistake, this lockdown is the single greatest human rights, civil rights attack in the history of our species. And most people are still asleep to the tyranny that is unfolding before us. For example, and I have to say some very positive things here. Look at the police.
Yep.
Whether they realize it or not, we're actually fighting for them and their children's futures too. And I know in my heart, just like we've seen in parts of Europe, eventually the police will stand down and support us because we're fighting for them too.
You guys!
Listen, let's be real, everybody. No parent wants their child to have their wings clipped.
No.
Every parent wants their children to have a future. This is what this is about, people. And having a future for your children can only happen in a free and just society. It's the only way. So yes, we really are all in this together.
No choice.
But I gotta tell you, I can't tell you how inspiring it is to see so many people here. To see so many informed people speaking up. There are so many of you with many valid and yet very different reasons. Right? Many different reasons. We have 5G. We've got mandatory vaccinations, medical freedom, gun rights, ending the lockdown, right to work, right to open one's business, cures being suppressed. I mean, come on, we all know that even if this was a real disease, there is a cure in a lot, which could have ended it too. But the thing is, we're all probably experiencing when you talk to your loved ones and you try to enlighten them, just ears are turned off. Okay? Our uninformed friends and families are not going to unite under these banners due to unjust, because these are legitimate reasons, but unjust conspiracy theory branding so that people won't listen.
The mainstream media is cancer!
Indeed. Indeed it is.
They're a bunch of Nazis!
But there is some very good news about these different issues, is that they all fall under one umbrella issue. And in fact, John F. Kennedy, I know he's American, not Canadian, but I gotta tell you, he said it best about 60 years ago, and I'm gonna quote him. Quote, "The same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God."
Yeah!
This is all about freedom.
It is. Yes.
This is all about government overreach and suppression of our God-given rights and freedoms at the hands of a few.
Criminals.
An unelected few. Very important. This is what the majority of us, all our family members who are uninformed, can unite under. This is what they can unite under. Because they're not fully aware of what's really happening, because a lot of us have gone down the rabbit hole and we're crystal clear on what's happening. But a lot of people are not ready for that big dose of a red pill. So we have to unite under what this issue is really about. Human rights.
Freedom.
This This is the same issue that has united humankind since the dawn of time. Although under different labels, but I assure you, it's the same battle. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, liberal, conservative, Canadian, American, Russian, English, Indian, Chinese, Muslim, Hindu, Catholic, Buddhist, rich or poor. This is oppression on a planetary scale, but we have to focus on Canada because that's all we can do.
Yeah.
So this directly affects us all. I mean, really. If you give up living in order to live, then they've already won. Many are afraid of the hardship. Many people are afraid of dying for a cause. That's why a lot of people are scared to speak up. But like I said, if we're afraid to live, and if we let this global, unelected body rule us and take root, come on, if we're afraid to live, we're already dead. Oh, my fellow Canadians, the true North is no longer free. If we want to restore Canadian sovereignty and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we have to take action in a productive way. And I know all of you want to do something, but many of you may be at home or after you leave today and you say, I'm just one person, what impact could I possibly have? I know, a lot of us can be scared, but fear can also be a very powerful motivator. Okay. You know, you may be thinking this, but I tell you, you can make a change in a very big way. A very big way, my friends. Here's just one. If every person here wrote 10 very short letters and sent them directly through Canada Post every Monday to the Prime Minister, to the Premier, to the political opposition leaders, they would end up having thousands of letters piled up on their doorstep.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they could just have one or two statements just saying, hey, we know that you've purposely abandoned science. We know you've grossly inflated the severity of COVID-19, a threat at the behest of unelected institutions. And we will not surrender these rights for anybody. I mean, so think about that. This is technically like a male protest. You can do this individually, but you're taking action. It starts small and builds. So, I mean, think about it. They can manipulate online polls. They can manipulate the news. They can manipulate social media, but they can't stop the mail. They can't stop the mail. Could you imagine seeing how many people here? 600? 600 times 10, 6,000 letters piled up on your door. Oh boy, that's impactful. That's impactful. For all we know, a lot of our elected leaders don't actually know how many of us are angry.
Yep.
I mean, we need to have English literacy in our country because these elected officials clearly don't read. So I know I'm talking long, but I've got so much to say. Another thing you can do. You could make, or maybe someone else could make a web page you can copy and print. I don't know, someone, because we can all do our part. You can make a one-page document informing people of what's really going on. But focus on the umbrella issue. We want them to hear. Keep it to the main issue, basic human rights and freedoms. God-given human rights and freedoms for those of you who believe in a creator like myself.
Yeah.
Take that document, put it in the mailbox on every house on your street. If everybody did this, the truth gets out, the message gets out, and it cannot be censored.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this with an inspiring quote from Nelson Mandela, because remember, people, we're all in this together. It's not black, white, English, it doesn't matter. This is a human
Vlad,
struggle. It's been around
I'm
since
going to
the
jump
beginning
up
of
there for
time.
like 1 second. Just 1 second. But
So I end this with a great quote from Nelson Mandela. And this is what I believe is all of us are feeling. Quote, I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal I hope to live for and to achieve, but if need be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
yeah.
lockdown is illegal and it is not backed by science. Case closed. This is a human rights issue and tyranny is at our doorstep. So, rise up, be steadfast, be fearless, take action, but make sure it's peaceful because we are not like them. And remember, if you're scared, remember what you're fighting for. Deep in your heart, you find it. I'm fighting for my loved ones. I'm fighting for my right to exist freely and independently. And if you believe in a creator, I mean, this applies to all of us. If you believe in a creator, trust that he is with you because we are fighting a just cause. Do this, and God willing, we will defeat the scourge on humanity.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Yo, can I just say one thing? Guys, just give it up for Mike. What a speech. That was amazing. Guys, I want to jump on one point really quickly. To Mike's point about making letters, we've made a Facebook group. It's Glorious and Free. Glorious and Free. Check it out on Facebook. We're going to have templates of letters, the address, everything you need. What he just said is the best thing we can do right now. This will not be ignored, okay? Glorious and Free.
That's amazing.